Hi there. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. I'm one of your hosts, Gregory Barrett, and with me is my lovely wife, Christine.
Hi.
And who's this in front of us, dear?
Well, it's Clara.
It's Fluffy
but she's
Kitty.
Going as Fluffy.
It's
She's
Fluffy
acting
Kitty. There,
as Fluffy.
she's happy there today. So this is a show where we talk about all things in pop culture we love: movies, trailers, different types of books, as well as TV and streaming.
Mm-hmm.
If you like this video, feel free to give us the thumbs up, and you can always subscribe. I'm posting new content here all the time. I got a breakdown of what we're going to be talking about this show. We're going to be talking about two trailers that came out one came out this week, The Tutors, and not the old show.
No, The Tutor.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Two doors.
When I was looking it up on Netflix, I was using the voice command on the remote, and it kept coming up Tutors, the old show. The other trailer we're going to talk about is one you mentioned a couple weeks ago, Love Again.
Yes.
That's the Celine Dion movie, actually featuring Celine Dion. What else are we going to talk about? Then we got a whole bunch of things we're going to review. I went and saw Creed 3 this week. You saw Cocaine Bear.
I
so
did.
You can give that review. That's still pretty new. Star Wars The Mandalorian came out.
Yeah, it came out.
We got the first episode. We got another episode of The Bad Batch. Yeah. We might talk about a Star Wars book because, we're coming to you from Coruscant today. So that's the whole theme.
I said I'm scared because everyone gets murdered there. Well, Yoda got beat up.
Yeah, Palpatine was fine there.
Well, he's kind of fine.
He didn't die there as long as he stayed there.
He uses lightning on himself.
Okay.
Anyway.
Things didn't go well for Mace Windu, but...
frightened. Yeah, or did they?
And then we're going to jump franchises from Star Wars into Star Trek, and we're going to talk about Picard. Was that episode 2 or 3 that came out this week?
Part 3.
Okay, so it's episode 3.
Well, they call it part 3. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the third episode of the...
Yes, the third episode. Okay?
And then after that, once we finish that, we got a new segment coming to you. You guys are going to love this. We're titling it Chakotay's Odyssey.
Oh, God, no.
Featuring the adventures of Janeway.
No.
You guys are going to love this. We'll include this as well in our episode. Because this is going to be a longer episode. Because we're trying to experiment with it. Because YouTube is supposed to promote longer videos. So, because then they can show more ads. In which case, they'll promote our episode so people will actually get to see it. Because, if you're one of the 5 people watching this show, we really appreciate that. Thank you very much. But
it takes we
want other people to see it as well, right?
I had a long work day. I don't want to.
But I put the time codes down in the description, so you don't have to watch it all at once. You can just jump to the next section, or if you only get part way through, then when you go back to it, you can just jump to that section that you left off in.
Skip over the Voyager part.
We're just experimenting right now. If it doesn't work out, we'll go back to like the 35-minute episodes. We'll see how it goes.
Watch Voyager again.
No, we watched it once. We talked about it.
It was a 2-part episode.
Yeah, it was a 2-part episode, but we already recorded a segment on it. You guys are going to love it. So let's start off with our trailers for this week. We got The Tutors, which is from...
No, The Tutor. It's not with an S.
It's from Vertical Entertainment. It comes out on March 24th, so this month. I think that's when Shazam! Fear of the Gods comes out as well.
This looks really good. I don't know any of the actors in it, but I looked.
They're all unknowns.
It's really scary, and it looks really good. I don't know if it's going to be, but I'm gonna. I mean, if I get a chance, I'd like to go see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a busy week, month for
us. This is a movie that basic premise of the trailer is this guy gets hired for a summer job, and he's a tutor. And he's teaching this rich kid, and apparently it's an amazing job because it's paying really well.
Pays well, but...
and he's got a young wife, and they're having a kid, and then suddenly it becomes a thriller movie because this rich kid that he's teaching is a crazy psycho.
Maybe. Maybe.
Looks like it from the trailer. That's what I got from the trailer.
I don't know. The kid's family has got some kind of weird thing going on. That's what I get from it.
I guess so.
They have their money some way.
You said this looks good to you?
It did look good, yeah. Because it looks like some of the books I like to read. It's like a thriller. Anyway.
These mystery thrillers?
Yeah, looks interesting to me. And the trailer says something about there is a mystery or there is
Well, it looks more of a thriller to me. However, if this is just some movie about some rich kid being a douche and then he gets away with it because they like to make weird movies like that.
I don't think so.
I don't like those kind of movies.
It says there's a twist. So anyway, hopefully it'll be good. But we'll let you know when one of us gets to watch it. Maybe even both of us.
Maybe. Will this be one you'd go see in the theater?
Yeah, if I get a chance. March is a very busy month for me. But,
March has got a lot of movies and stuff coming out. This month is stacked.
It's busy for work. But anyway. Okay, well, I'll do my best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kitty, okay there?
Yeah, so...
Be able to move just a little bit to the left there, if you don't mind.
He's on me off the screen.
No, I just don't want your head to get blocked when we're putting up posters on the screen there.
The kitty so you can see her.
So you're gonna go see this. I may not see this movie. Doesn't really look like something I'm interested in. I mean, did you ever see American Psycho?
No.
With Christian Bale?
But that's not.
There's a lot of people that go on about that movie. It's just another movie about rich people being terrible people and getting away with it.
This is a thriller.
I don't like that
there's
stuff.
A mystery. I like the look of it. Anyway, I want to go see it. If it comes here.
If it comes out, I think you're going to go see it because I probably won't.
You can go see the Tutors.
I can watch that on... Isn't it on Netflix?
Well, there's lots of different shows about the Tutors.
Doesn't that have Henry Cavill in it, too?
I don't know.
It was from a while ago.
There's lots of documentaries.
You guys, that's our thoughts on there. Are you guys interested in this new trailer for The Tutors coming out on March 24th? Might be interesting. Might be terrible. Who knows? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below if you're going to go see it or not. Then we got your trailer from a couple weeks ago with Celine Dion called Love Again.
Yeah, I swear I saw a trailer with Celine Dion in it.
I heard nothing about this.
I was busy at the time and I didn't catch it all. And I knew it was the guy from Outlander, Sam Heughan, was in it. And that Chopra, Priyanka Chopra.
Okay.
I'm probably murdering her first name. Anyway, yes, then I hadn't heard anything more about it. So that is an actual movie, and Celine is actually acting in it, although she's acting as herself, but she looks like she has a little bit of a role in it.
Yeah.
She's not just singing on stage.
Small supporting role.
Yeah, it looks like it, so that's fun for her. I know she has a lot of fans.
Are you a big Celine Dion fan?
No, not really. I mean, go girl. I'm not against her, but I mean, her music's a bit sappy for me.
Does she have a lot of fans here? I'm not a big fan of Celine Dion, and she's from Canada, but I mean,
yeah, she has a lot.
I don't think we see her here. She's always in Las Vegas.
A lot of people that like her, like really, really like.
Oh yeah, they love her.
Yeah. Like,
they're like the Celine Dion army.
She has a big fan base. I mean, I don't not like her, but she's not really my thing for music. But no, but I think that's interesting for her. I think that's a nice new role for her. So go for it, Celine. Yeah. And
this trailer that we watched, it's a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Which I don't care.
Your mom would like it.
This looks like every other romantic comedy from the 90s. And it's got
a cute premise.
Everything's a cliche.
It looks like a Hallmark type movie, like on the Women's Channel.
So I'll tell you.
And people do love those kind of movies.
I'll just surmise this trailer. It's this woman. She's got a dead husband or something.
Dead boyfriend, yeah.
I don't know.
He's gone.
And she's texting his number
because she can't get over him.
But this guy has that number because numbers get reused all the time for
work.
cell phones.
He's got the
and so he gets
work.
all these texts that this lady is sending to her dead boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he just becomes obsessed with her. So then he goes to meet her. That's not realistic. If you did that in real life, women would be creeped out. And then he meets up with her, and they fall in love.
Most guys aren't him.
But he doesn't tell her. So there's a dumb premise for this movie.
Right
a Post-it note could fix that problem.
But that's the crux of the movie. The movie has to have something going on.
And Celine Dion, the Celine Dion, okay?
She's their love
She's
counselor.
not playing a role. She's Celine Dion.
But she's counseling them in love.
Yeah, and she becomes his best friend. I'm like, what is this nonsense?
She always thinks she's a big about the concept of love, and her poor husband that's passed away now.
Well, why would she become friends with this random guy, I'm guessing in New York City? Just seems kind of a dumb premise to me.
Well, if she sees people, I'm sure she helps anyone that might fall in love. I'm sure that's her modus operandi.
All right.
I don't know, but it's got Sam Heughan in it, so the ladies that, if you like Outlander, you go to watch this just to see him.
Did you watch Outlander?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this movie comes
I
out
do
in May
watch Outlander.
for Mother's Day, so I guess this is a Mother's Day movie.
Yeah. I mean,
Are you going to go see this?
Probably not, but if I see it on the Women's Channel some night, I might watch it.
Then why did we have to watch this trailer if you're not even going to go see it?
Your mom. Your mom will love this movie.
My family doesn't watch this show.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes,
And my
do.
mother would be the last one to watch this show.
If anybody
They
out
still
there is
don't
watching
even
it,
know about our trip to Mexico. Remember we went to Mexico
yes.
to visit them?
Tell Sylvia
They still
about
don't
this.
even know about
Tell
that.
Sylvia about this movie. And unfortunately, you won't be with her at Mother's Day, but you can always send her some movie tickets.
There you go. Okay. I don't think she'd want those though. Okay, Love Again. So I'm probably not gonna go see this because this looks really dumb and corny and cheesy for me.
It's a romantic movie.
Now, if this is your thing, you're probably gonna love it. I'm not. This is not my thing. Apparently, it's not yours. You're not gonna
really.
go see it.
No, but I mean, if I'm like bored and some movie like that comes on, I might watch it. I like him. I'd watch it for him, and I like to see Celine and see what she's up to.
Put that stuff on the poster there. You're not even gonna go pay to see it. You're like, I'll watch it if it's on TV.
In the trailer,
maybe.
he didn't take his shirt
see.
off, ladies, so it might be disappointing. But anyway, you never know. That's why you gotta go see the movie. See, they're just teasing us.
Okay. Means nothing to me. But are you guys is anyone out there looking forward to Love Again, which has Celine Dion in it, coming out in May? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. We want to hear if anyone's going to actually go see this, because we're probably not.
I think it's exciting for her to be, like, she actually has like a big speaking part and everything. So
okay.
That's nice.
Okay. So that's it for our trailer. So now let's jump into our reviews.
Okay, reviews.
First review. Let's start with yours, actually. We'll go with Cocaine Bear. You saw that, which just came out not too long ago, so you're not too far behind.
No.
What did you think of Cocaine Bear? I already did my review.
To see it last night. I thought it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't get too serious. It's just fun. It could be funnier. I think there was lost opportunities. Some of the things were very funny in it, but there's like lulls, like it's like trying to be an adventure movie. Do
you want to spoil this, or do you want to say non-spoilers?
No, let's not spoil it.
Okay, non-spoilers. It's still pretty new.
It's sort of an adventure movie in some ways, so that makes it not funny, and then it has funny parts. But I mean, it's just a fun thing. If you like, I had a bad day at work yesterday, and I went there and I had a fun time.
Yeah, and that I recommended you go check it out. A lot of people are saying the ambulance scene is probably the best.
Oh, that's not my favorite scene.
What was your favorite?
My favorite scene is when the park ranger returns from her altercation with the bear.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite scene.
Yeah, there's the park ranger. That's I mentioned that in my review, Margot Martindale.
Yeah,
she was my favorite of this.
Yeah.
Now I really enjoy the ambulance scene. All this is in the trailer.
Right.
I'm not going to spoil it either. But there's a lot of good stuff in it. It's not complete laugh throughout the whole thing.
Conflicted,
but it's definitely funny. I really enjoyed it.
Like what it's trying to do. Like sometimes it's trying to talk about parenting. Sometimes it's talking about the great outdoors.
Yeah, the tone's a bit off at times.
And sometimes it's talking about gangsters and criminals.
I think they should have just kept it on the comedy the whole time.
It's going like a lot of different places, but it's still a fun time. I mean, it's nothing heavy. There's nothing really in depth about it. It's fun.
You know who directed this?
No, I don't know.
Elizabeth Banks.
Okay, well,
she has not been having good success with her directing career.
Oh.
And so this might help her because
I thought it was well put together.
Yeah, because she did that Charlie's Angels reboot from a few years back, and that was not good.
I don't know.
That was easily forgettable.
I would not go to see that. I just think that's not the way to portray women. That's just my issue with it. So I would never go to see it.
But they updated it.
I don't care. No. That's a no for me. But this is a fun, not serious type of movie. Anyway, it's fun.
Are you going to see this again?
Oh, I probably won't see it again. No. I don't watch... I'm not like you. I don't watch things again. It's very rare that I do watch things a second time. But I remember it. It was a fun time. So...
Yeah, so she directed... So Cocaine Bear, Charlie's Angels in 2019 was her last one. This is Elizabeth Banks. Before that was Pitch Perfect 2.
Well, a lot of
I
people
didn't see that.
like
I can't
the
comment.
Pitch Perfect movies. I haven't seen any of
Movie
them.
43.
I don't know that one.
From 2013. I don't know what that is.
That's
and
just when she was getting
Just a
into
Little
it.
Heart Attack was a short from 2011. She did
just
another
getting
short
into
from
it, I
2010. So
Anyway, no, this is a
she
good,
needs
really good
she needs some
effort.
hits.
There's a lot going on in this movie. There's a big cast. There's a lot happening. So
Yeah, Kerry Russell's in it.
Carrie Russell. No, Carrie
The
Russell.
one
is
kid
not,
in it is really funny.
Carrie
He's in the
Russell
trailer. He's
is
funny.
not funny.
No, she's not supposed to be.
No, she's like the mom has to drag it all down. The mom doesn't get to be funny. She doesn't get to be funny.
This is not a movie that I'm not gonna see it again. I'm not gonna purchase it. I'm probably never gonna watch it again. But I had a fun time. So if you're just looking for a fun date night with some good laughs in it, okay, I would recommend this.
Yeah, exactly.
So Cocaine Bear. Have you seen it by now? Let us know your thoughts. I know
Yeah.
lots of people are seeing it.
Yeah,
if not,
highly anticipated.
You might want to go check it out because it's quite a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Okay, moving on to our next segment, Creed 3. We'll move on to my review.
You saw that.
When you saw Cocaine Bear, I saw Creed 3 last night.
Right.
It was a late show. It was 7:30.
That's why I didn't go to see it.
And it's like a 1 hour 55 minutes. And then they played 15 minutes of commercials again, which I don't like, because they were doing like nothing before, and now it's up to 15 minutes.
Now, my movie last night, I saw a lot of trailers, although I can't remember which ones they were. But I didn't see as many commercials.
That's one of the reasons why they're not supposed to show too many trailers and commercials, because there's no retention at all. There's no memory retention. When you show 5 trailers in a row, you can't remember what you saw.
I know there was a trailer for Strays, and there was only about 10 of us there in the theater, and everyone was laughing so hard when we watched the trailer for Strays. I can't wait for that one.
We already did a trailer reaction for that. Every time I see that, I laugh. I'm like, that's good.
They hadn't seen it before, and they were laughing so hard. It's just like a couple-minute trailer. It is good for laughs.
Most people wouldn't have seen that trailer. Because they're not like us, they're not watching trailers all the time that come out. The only time they would see it is if they go to the movies.
Yeah, and they were loving it.
Okay, and talking about an older crowd, a younger crowd would see all the trailers on YouTube right away.
I don't think so. It's just mostly you.
Okay, getting back to what we were talking about, Creed 3.
Okay, so, Creed 3, boxing movie.
This is a non-spoiler review.
Okay.
I put out a reaction video, but to talk about it more, this movie was all right. I wouldn't recommend seeing it if you're not this is not your thing, like these boxing movies.
Yeah, I'm not into boxing.
If you're not a Rocky or a Creed fan, I wouldn't bother, because like these characters aren't going to speak to you. Right. The way they've done this is, well, for me, I saw the first one on streaming and I was surprised how good it was. So then when the second one came out a couple of years back, I went to go see it, and I wasn't that impressed. It was like kind of a meandering or a moderate level Rocky movie, except with Creed.
Not the best then.
So it was just, it's okay, but we've seen this so many more times, right? Mm-hmm. And then they came out with this one, and this 3 is better than 2, in my opinion, but it's not as good as 1. And so... It's the classic story. It's always the classic underdog story.
Right.
And
which is
so,
a good story.
So Adonis Creed, he's the underdog. And then he's up against his old friend. This is in the trailer, Damien.
Okay.
So it's an old friend. And he's coming to...
His old friend went to jail for him. That was in the trailer.
Yeah, you got the impression of that in the trailer.
Yeah.
And you get the impression from the trailer. They're going to fight, right? So
okay, I didn't get that. I didn't know that part, but I basically
that's what all these movies are about.
He's become famous, and his friend went to jail and never made anything of his life.
Yeah,
and now he has great success, and his friend's out of jail. This is like the idea.
And they put it in the trailer. He's like, "I'm coming for all of it."
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So there's going to be a fight between the two of them. It's Jonathan Majors, which we've seen in lots of stuff lately. We've seen him as Kang recently in Quantumania and Loki season 1. And I saw him in Devotion recently in the fall, or October or November. He was in that Devotion movie. It was about he played a pilot in the Korean War for the U.S.
Right. Yes.
For the U.S. Navy.
He's good at acting.
Oh yeah. So I'm seeing him in a lot of different stuff. He's quite good in this. He was a really good villain.
That's good.
I'm not going to spoil what happens. I mean, everyone. like all the characters are back. It's in the cast list, except for Rocky. We know he's not in it because of previous movies, and also he's not on the cast list.
Yeah.
And because of what's going on in the media right now with Sly Stallone and his brother going on about they're kind of making themselves not look good in the media right now. Oh, they've been fighting with the owner of the rights for the Rocky movies.
Oh.
He's fighting with them publicly.
Oh.
I don't really want to get into that.
Okay.
Okay. However, it was an alright movie. These characters don't really speak to me. So I'm not as attached to Adonis or his wife or his kid. Now, they put a lot of emotion into this movie. This movie is all character and emotional moments, right? So it's about his relationships, not just with his old friend Damien, but a lot of it is with him and his daughter, okay? So they put a lot of emotion into everything so that they try to tug at your heartstrings. It didn't really work for me. This is Michael B. Jordan's first directorial debut, so it was a good
effort, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good effort,
story
but
was a bit, maybe not the greatest.
Maybe they could have taken out 25-30 minutes because it was 2 hours, and you don't
so
need
long.
that.
Right.
You don't need that.
Right.
You're just dragging it out at that point. I think they could have cut out some of the stuff maybe with Tessa Thompson. Not that she's not amazing in it. It's just they didn't do much with her character at all.
Right.
This was kind of a nothing movie to me, and therefore, unfortunately, I have to give it a worst movie ever.
Oh.
Because, I'm not going to go back and watch this. The first one is the best, and I still haven't gone back to watch that.
Oh, well.
That was directed by Ryan Coogler, he left the Creed franchise. Well, don't mind that leg sticking out there, that's just a random creature on Coruscant here. What was I saying there? I forgot.
You're talking.
We're talking about Creed.
Creed and the director. And...
Yeah, Tessa Thompson's good in it.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan's first shot. It's, yeah. Oh, yeah, I was talking about the first one. The first Creed, which is the best one, was directed by Ryan Coogler. Now, he had a hand in this, but not as big, because he left the Creed franchise to go do those Black Panther movies.
Oh, yes.
He's the director and writer on both of them.
I really didn't like the first one. I really liked the second one. So, I don't know. I guess...
Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther. But I guess if you like Creed, the first one, you probably would enjoy this.
Are you going to check out any of these movies?
I'm not into sports movies and definitely not boxing.
I don't find these Creed movies have as much emotional weight as, say, the first two Rocky movies and then the last one, Rocky Balboa. Yeah. They had a lot more of emotion and resonance for me than these Creed ones. It's not that the acting's not good or anything. But
is it just about some guys starting their stuff a lot?
No, it's the Rocky stories are always the same. It's the classic underdog.
Yeah.
It's just they don't really make me feel for this character.
Okay.
And if you don't care about the characters, then it's, what do I care what happens between him and his daughter, or him and his wife, or him and his old buddy? I don't give a damn. It's just, they place too much emphasis, I think, in the first ones on the relationship between Adonis Creed, and Rocky. So, it just didn't speak to me. However, I know this franchise has lots of fans.
Yeah,
so
it does.
are you a fan of the Creed franchise?
It.
Well, I mean, they're still showing those Rocky movies all the time. Are you a fan of Creed movies? Are you a fan of the Rocky movies? Have you seen Creed 3? Let us know your thoughts down below. I mean, wasn't bad, but I'm not going to revisit it. I'm not trying to say anything bad about it. Next, going to Star Wars world.
Oh, okay.
We're talking The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
this is a big thing that came out this week. Everyone's really excited.
Episode 1 of season 3.
You want to start on this, or should I? Yep.
Yeah, sure. I'll start on it. I thought it was really fun. It had a lot of elements in it. We saw a lot of different characters. Yeah.
Should we go non-spoilers?
Yeah.
Non-spoilers is still new.
I think it looks like they put a lot of effort into this episode. It went to a lot of places. We saw some cool stuff.
Yup.
I'll give you one little story. The Baby Yoda's a little older.
That's not a spoiler.
He's a little older.
He ages by a year each season of the show.
Sort of acts more like a 2-year-old. He doesn't speak. He makes more noises though now.
Yeah.
But he's cute still.
We will spoil quickly
No.
if you haven't seen Book of Boba Fett.
Oh yes.
Okay.
What happened?
Because at the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian,
You're really,
Grogu
wondering
leaves
what's-
and goes with someone else, and so in Book of Boba Fett, he decides to go back and be with Mando, Din Djarin.
He's given up his
And
Jedi
so,
journey, although he still knows how to do something.
Maybe he could be a Mandalorian for a while and then go back to being a Jedi.
Right now, he's gone.
There's
with
no
the
time
man.
limit on these
He's
things.
got a lot of years
If he's
to
gonna live for 900 years, he can do
But
both.
he might have more skills. I don't know yet. He might have more skills now. He did a whole bunch of training.
But if he's going to live for 900 years, maybe he just wants to hang out with Din Djarin while he's around. That makes sense, because he ain't going to live forever.
No, anyway.
Especially, like,
Grogu is.
You live a long time.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. There was a lot going on. I definitely wasn't disappointed with it. That was my thoughts on it. What did you think? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, definitely. I hadn't watched season 1 or 2 or Book of Boba Fett before watching this.
Again,
I had watched them again before because I've been too busy watching other media.
But we kind of remembered it.
I wasn't really preparing myself for it, so I wasn't know if I was going to be back into it or if I had to go back and recap. Watch a recap or something. But a few seconds into the episode, I'm right back on board.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a bunch of characters in this episode. I'm not going to spoil it. Okay? From this series. And as we've seen in previous seasons, they bring in characters from other shows as well and other things. And I was right on board because I was saying this in my review I put on Twitter. It's a really masterful storytelling because they're showing you characters from this series. Okay? Oh no, there's a whole bunch of them, right? And then they're bringing in characters from other series from different time periods that we've seen.
I guess.
And it works.
But
and it works so
the
well.
Episode
and some of those
sense.
series were animated series.
It has a path, it has a journey, the story makes sense, and there's a mission at hand.
Yeah.
There we go. It was good. I totally recommend it. It's fun. And it's, kids can watch it.
Oh, yeah. But adults love it too.
Yeah, it's fun.
Every time.
I was not disappointed.
So, better than Book of Boba Fett?
Much better. Don't watch that one.
I think every season that's been out so far, it becomes the #1 show on television.
I think this was a really. I was wondering how was it going to be, because after Book of Boba Fett, I was a little bit suspicious it might not be so great, but it was very good. So there you go. Okay.
Well, do I have any more thoughts on it?
Well, we don't want to spoil it. People have to get caught up and watch it.
No, we're not spoiling it. It's just, do I have anything else I want to say on this show, on this series? Because it's been really good progression of it with this character, actually both characters.
Yeah.
It's really about the two of them there.
Yeah.
And we know from the trailers that this is going to be all about Mandalore. And
it's just setting it up. It's setting it up, basically, and they're on a mission. It looks like it might be a bit difficult, but they're
the showrunners on this are Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
Okay.
And they're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Okay? So I've loved it. I'll give it best series ever.
Yeah.
Because it's great.
We've only seen one
episode
so far, but it was really good.
I'm right back on board.
Yeah,
it hooked me.
It's really good.
And okay.
Okay.
So
well, let's.
are you? Or is anyone out there watching The Mandalorian? Are you enjoying it? Are you not enjoying it? Let us know down in the comments below. We'll read them out on the next episode. Now, one of the showrunners, Dave Filoni, on Mandalorian, is also the showrunner on Star Wars The Bad Batch.
Right.
That we're also watching. And we got episode 11, same day that we got The Mandalorian.
Right.
What was episode 11? Do you remember what the name of the episode was?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. Tell me your thoughts on this episode there. So they got their stuff back the previous episode. Oh yeah, we're going to spoil this.
Oh,
okay, so this is a spoiler review. I'm going to put up the alert. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. What are you doing? Then come back afterwards. And if you don't want to hear it, just jump to the next chapter. This was, so spoilers, this was when they brought back that creature.
Yeah.
So they get sent to go recover a ship.
Yeah.
After they kind of get Sid was mouthy to them, and she didn't help them.
They're supposed to recover the cargo but we see a little bit of the history of this cargo. It's a Zillow beast, by the way. That's a spoiler that
Yeah.
they're trying to recover.
Yeah, this is from Clone Wars. Remember that from Clone Wars?
I remember Zillow beast, but I didn't really remember. Anyway, it's quite a creature and it's vicious. It's sort of like, I don't know, mix of the alien from Alien and a dinosaur, and I don't know what else.
Well, it goes through different phases.
It was called Metamorphosis.
Yeah, as it feeds on power, so as it gets more power, it changes and gets bigger.
And it's sort of like a brontosaurus-y type of thing. I don't know. It's
At first, it looked like Star Wars Evil Barney because it was
yeah.
purple.
It's like, anyway, so they go. I mean, they should have realized there's something dangerous on there because the whole ship crashed and everyone's gone.
You're right. It's called Metamorphosis.
Yeah, and anyway, so I didn't really like that about the episode because they should have realized, like, they can scan for life forms, but they didn't seem to do that. They just went in the ship blind and everyone was gone, and they're like, where is everyone? Why did the ship crash? Well, maybe something ate them. Anyway, I thought that was kind of silly on their part that they didn't weren't prepared properly for this. They just kind of got themselves into something, and then of course they screwed up and it got out, and then it went to to the village, and then now the powers that be have like taken everybody and disappeared
because they saw this creature we
really
saw years ago in
this.
Clone Wars was like season 4 or 5, I don't remember, and it was dug up somewhere on some random planet
beast.
And then I think it was Anakin who came up with the idea of how to take it down with these like tractor beam pulses because that weakens it. Well, electricity,
but it's dangerous and it's hard to manage.
So they managed to defeat this thing and capture it, and then it was a 2-part episode. They brought it back to Coruscant on the Chancellor's orders, Chancellor Palpatine.
Right.
And then it got loose, and then they had to kill it.
Loose all the time.
And then it's the King Kong story.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. It's the King Kong story.
In this episode, they really kind of screwed up, and they should have realized. Anyway, I thought they really screwed up, and then it got out, and then it.
But they didn't know what they were walking into,
right? But they should have realized there's something wrong here. Anyway. They let it out, and it went it didn't really terrorize people. People went out to see it, and then the Empire terrorized people afterwards and disappeared them because they saw it and they didn't want anybody to know.
Yeah, this is classic. So it brought back this dangerous being that was supposedly destroyed, but they used the Camino tech to clone it.
We see a little bit
and that's
of the
really clever
tech,
because. We don't see the Kaminoans later on in the original series or any time after that, and we're finding out what's happened to them and what happened to their civilization and all their tech. Wow. So Palpatine used this tech to clone this ancient King Kong Godzilla monster, and now he's brought it back. And because it got out and it attacked these people saw it. Now they have to be sent to probably Imperial camps, and no one's ever going to hear from them again.
Yeah, but the whole idea of the episode is the end is that they're bringing back Lama Su, the Prime Minister.
Lama Su?
Lama Su, yeah. And,
Lama Su?
Something like that. And they're on the hunt for Omega. That's where it ended. That was the important part of this episode, was that with all these the cloners, as they say, were there, and there's a new character we see, a science character who seems rather like crazy evil scientist.
Yeah, but he's a human.
And
it's a new villain for the show.
At the end, they find out Omega exists, and they're after her, really after her.
Well, the Kaminoans, they really want to get Omega back for some reason, but we don't know why. And
they want to protect her, I think. Well, her scientist friend wants to protect her. But no, they want her because she's special. And we don't really know all the things that are... We see her in the episodes that she is definitely special, but we don't really know what. It's obviously she has secrets in her DNA, I guess, or something. Anyway, we'll find out more. Maybe she has metachlorines in her.
She's got a lot of metachlorines?
Maybe that's where they all went.
I don't know. Last time we heard about the metachlorines was in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, I don't know. She doesn't seem to have the force though. But anyway, they're after her, and now they when they go after something, they're very persistent.
Did we hear about the midi-chlorians in Clone Wars? I think they talked about that near the end.
We did hear about them
season
again.
6. I think
they're sort of like, I think they're embarrassed they put them in that movie, and now they have to like somehow deal with that concept. Anyway, so we'll see more, but this episode did have meaning to it. It did make the story go forward.
I really liked how they tied it into Clone Wars, and they tied it into the characters from the movies, the Kaminoans and that. I'm always so interested to find out about what happens to the Kaminoans.
Well, they're all mostly extinct
They're so
now.
mysterious, and you never see them again.
Because they've undergone genocide, essentially.
They wiped them out.
Killed, except for very few that were on other planets, because they kept to themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
The cloners.
Can't they just clone more Kaminoans? I guess not, because they're all the ones that are left are kind of prisoners.
The same. They're all prisoners now, sort of. Well, we have one who's in the Senate, but seems like a big a-hole. So I don't know. Anyway, that's it. It was good. I thought it was silly though how they screwed up and let the Zillo beast out. But I think they could have written that a little differently. But anyway, I think it was interesting. And now this is bad because they know she's out there, because before they didn't really know about her, so now they really know about her. Now they're going after her.
I thought the Kaminoans knew, but the Empire didn't know about her. But for some reason, she told them.
But also, the Kaminoans might have assumed that she was killed, or I don't know, some of them. Anyway, when everyone else was. But basically, so they're after her now. So that's bad. Mm-hmm. That can't be good. I'm
still really enjoying this show. Every week it just... I mean, there was some not so great episodes, but I'm still really on board for this show. It's I'm having a really fun time. Okay. I don't know if I'm enjoying Mandalorian or Bad Batch more right now.
I like it, but I've been disappointed.
From this season or previous season?
This season.
The season started off strong.
It did, and it's
Remember, it started they were running from those crabs.
But there's been a lot of filler. To me, it's definitely not as good as the first season for me. I'm not into it as much. Yeah. It's lacking. Some of the episodes have been really lacking. Anyway, I wish they would do more with those and not have wasted them.
So that was episode 11. So we got 5 more episodes to go, and 2 Star Wars shows at the same time. That's awesome. I'm definitely on board. Week. You've heard our thoughts on Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Let us know what you guys think. Is anyone else watching this show? I'm loving it. If you like it or not, let us know, and we'll read your comments out in the next episode.
Okay.
Now, after that, we got a little bit of time. So
I want to say something first.
Oh, go ahead.
Something important happened here in regards to Newfoundland. Gordon Pinsett passed away this week.
Okay, who's that? For people who might not know?
He's an actor from Newfoundland who basically paved the way for anybody in Newfoundland to be to have a career in film. Mm-hmm. And he just passed away this week. He was 92, but he's been pretty active. Like, he's been out there a lot. He didn't look that old to me. He always looked good. Probably, I don't know, one of his most recent movies would be Away from Her. That one about the...
When did that come out?
I don't know, but that he played a man there's dementia. He had dementia, or the wife had dementia or something. It was a Sarah Polley.
Oh, was that
Sarah Polley movie?
Is that the really actor who was the voice of Babar?
Yes.
Okay, I heard about that a week ago, but...
You didn't know who Gordon Pinsett is?
No, I heard about that a week ago. It was on the news, but I don't like to bring news about people dying all the time.
Well, it's important for Newfoundland because he's definitely Newfoundland trailblazer, and so that's unfortunate. He lived on a good age, and I think he was pretty healthy up until his death. So that's really sad, but a lot of people are paying tribute to him.
But he had a good run. He was in a bunch of things.
Oh, lots of things, and he was in a lot of TV shows, and he did a lot of even just commercials for things and stuff in Newfoundland, like supporting different causes and whatever, stuff like that. So I just wanted to bring that forward because he passed away in the middle of the week, and we didn't get to talk about it on our last episode. So yeah, I wanted to talk about Picard because I just watched it and it came out last night. This was episode 3 or part 3. This was called, and it was called 17 Seconds. And I tell you, there's a lot that goes on in this episode, and this show is very awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this episode was very awesome. And it was great. It was great.
You want to spoil it?
No, I'm not going to
spoil
spoil
the
it.
last one?
No, I'm not going to spoil it because you keep on asking me too many questions. I already told you what it was about off camera, so don't ask any more questions.
Okay, non-spoiler
I don't want to
review.
spoil it for people.
Star Trek
But
Picard,
this is
season 3, episode
great
3.
Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, in my mind, it's what Star Trek is supposed to be. Anyway, I thought it was great.
Is it,
Star Trek has
without
gotten
spoiling,
muddied. Star Trek has gotten muddied in the years with the films that have been, the different casts that have been sort of like trying to be Transformers sometimes, and with Discovery, which was terrible. And this has, this
what
was
if
great.
people like Discovery? If you
Well,
like
they
this
can go
Star
watch-
Trek Discovery, let us know.
Well, then I'd say if they like Star Trek Discovery, they probably don't like any of this other Star Trek. Because I did watch Star Trek Discovery because I felt I had to because they're putting it in the canon, so therefore I had to watch it. But I really got upset with it, and they really had to change.
Didn't they remove it from the canon?
No, I don't. They did something, and I'm not gonna say because if anyone, I don't want to get into it. It just bothers me. But anyway, no, it's supposed to be. I don't know.
Is Star Trek Discovery still running, or they end it?
I think it's over. I don't know.
I don't know.
We might get
If they
another
bring it
season.
back,
I don't
are you
know.
gonna watch it?
I wasn't interested. I don't want another season because I would have to suffer through watching another one.
You don't
Anyway,
have to.
Yeah, I kind of
No
do.
one's
As a
forcing
Star
you to.
Trek fan, I have to watch it, but I do with pain.
Okay,
Anyway, this is good. That's what I'm gonna say.
Star Trek
This is
Picard.
good. And I'll just give one little spoiler. Things are a little different with the cast and crew this time around. Worf tells a joke.
Is it
So-
funny?
Yeah, it is funny.
Because he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would be able to tell a joke and let it land, right?
Listen,
He's
Worf
the kind of guy
has
that he would say a
evolved.
joke and it would
he's
just
had
be
a lot of
crickets.
years to like work on himself, and he
What?
tells a joke.
Where is he working on this? Back in the Klingon Empire on what's their planet?
Oh, he tells a joke in this.
What's their home planet? Praxis?
No, Praxis.
What's their home planet?
Oh, now that you're asking me,
You don't know, you're the Star Trek fan.
I am, but now you've completely.
I thought it was Praxis.
No, it's not Praxis. What the hell?
Is it just called the Klingon homeworld? I don't know.
No, it has a name.
So.
Kronos.
Kronos.
Jeez,
okay.
Praxis. Anyway. You
I
threw me
couldn't-
right
I
up
couldn't-
there. You threw me right off.
I don't watch a lot
What's a
of Star
targ?
Trek these days.
What's a targ?
I don't know what a targ is.
Well, there, you're definitely not a Star Trek fan.
Not
Anyway,
really.
yeah, it's good. That's all I'm gonna say. I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm excited for next
Okay,
season
so
episode. But what happens at the end is quite something.
So you don't
Anyway.
want to spoil any of this.
Not
Man.
spoiling
This
it.
is
No,
just
I
going to
want
be a
people to
really
watch
short
it.
review.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it just came out last night.
Okay. I don't have any opinion because I haven't seen any of Star Trek Picard. I tapped out after the first episode years ago. I watched that first episode. I'm like, nope, not watching this. And but have you been enjoying the other seasons?
I did, but I feel like this one they were a little limited in the other seasons because Picard was limited
Okay.
because he didn't have all these things that he doesn't have a ship anymore. Like he's retired and everything. So it was a matter of him.
Couldn't he sell his vineyard to buy a ship?
No,
There's
they don't
freighter
just
pilots
buy-
in this universe.
Well, he did have his ship at his to use, I suppose, but
Mhm.
no, it's not like it's. But this is more like a Starfleet type of show, a problem.
Okay.
So, yeah. Anyway, it's fun. Watch it. Yay. Good.
Is this which season's the best?
This one so far.
It's better than 1 and 2 so far.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
very good.
This is not a spoiler question, but is it more original Star Trek cast feel, or is it more TNG feel, or is it more new Star Trek cast feel?
No.
What would
the
you compare
story-
What would you compare? I'm just talking about the tone of the show. What would
No,
best
I'm not
compare
going
to?
to get into
Is
it.
it more
'cause I
like
don't want to have
TNG?
spoiler- No, but this is a example of Starfleet encountering a problem like all the other shows.
Like Farpoint.
Or whatever. Because he hasn't been really in Starfleet until like he's doing Starfleet stuff this season because he has been retired and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to spoil it. People should watch it. It's really good. It's really nice and refreshing to have some nice Star Trek for a change.
Because you haven't been enjoying the other stuff.
No, I haven't really.
Didn't you enjoy Strange New Worlds?
Sort of. I felt it just kind of came together at the last episode. I finally kind of bought into it.
What
in the last
about
episode.
you've been enjoying Lower Decks?
I do like Lower Decks, and Lower Decks is awesome, but
That's
it's
very
not the
different
same.
show.
It's a comedy
But
show,
it's
but
funny.
you'll only get it like you have to know Star Trek to get all the jokes. Like I love their jokes; they make me laugh so much.
I like how they're trying to franchise this, and they're like, we're gonna make the animated show for the kids and for adults who like
Well,
this
there
stuff.
is another
We're gonna
animated
make Discovery for a
Right.
different to try and get a different type of Star Trek fan. We're gonna make movies for similar to that. We're gonna make this Picard show. I'm guessing it was more like TNG or the Next Generation movies. So for those fans, and then Strange New Worlds is kind of for the old school original series Star Trek fans. That's what I get the feel of it.
Well, it's been Picard with a very small group in the other 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's big issues, but it's been a very small little group.
Yeah, I'm just talking about their franchise in general.
Yeah, well,
what Paramount
they do
is
have
doing with it.
a show for kids as well. No, I haven't watched that.
Lower Decks.
No. There's another show.
What show?
It's a show. It's an animated show, and it's for kids. And I haven't got to watch it yet. I will tell you what it's called
Is it
in
new?
a second. Yeah. It's still a new season came out, and I have it on my PVR. But
I haven't been watching any of these
been
new
able
Star
to
Trek
watch
stuff.
it.
With Discovery,
It's for
I tapped
kids.
out. I hope they make more movies with the new JJ cast. Just my opinion, I think they should recast Anton Yelchin, but that's just my opinion of this. In terms of Star Trek, Christine and we had a nice discussion last weekend about her favorite show, Star Trek Voyager, which features Captain Janeway and the main man, Chakotay.
It's called Prodigy. That's why I couldn't remember the name.
It doesn't sound like a kid's show.
It is. It's I think it is. I saw like 2 minutes of it. I said, oh, this is for kids, so I'll put this on the back burner until I have time to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, we are doing a great new segment called Chakotay's Odyssey.
No, I don't want to do that.
The event featuring the adventures of Captain Janeway. So
I don't
every
like the
week,
name.
okay, we're gonna watch some Voyager. Just probably one
God.
episode, unless it's a two-parter.
Do we have to?
And unless people don't want us to, but if you do want us to, leave a comment down below and we will watch every episode of Star Trek Voyager, but it'll take some time because we're only going to watch one a week.
I'd rather watch like good episodes of just general Star Trek
But
shows.
it's fun to review things that are
People want
bad,
us
and
to
we had
watch.
fun reviewing it, and we're going... And so it just makes more interesting conversation. And also we fixed it on our segment.
Oh, we did? I didn't
We
think
did.
I don't think it was fixable. Anyway, yeah. Like today I was looking on Facebook like I do sometimes, and there was this picture of the episode with when Picard and the alien land on the planet, and the fella only speaks in metaphors.
Is this from TNG?
Yeah.
Okay.
TNG, and it was an episode of them eating their lunch, like as actors sitting in those wooden chairs, like eating their lunch, and everybody had really funny comments, like, you know,
Okay.
Picard, his mouth full. You know, like
So these are memes.
at Tanagra.
Okay.
No,
so-
this was an actual picture of the show, and everyone started writing in about this episode, and most people said, this is my most favorite episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. Most people said that. There was like hundreds of comments, and everyone had a comment like, the river is open at Tanagra, and you know, they made up a metaphor essentially.
Okay. Why
But
is...
some people said, this is the worst episode of this show ever.
Really?
So it's really interesting. So if there is a Star Trek show, I'd rather do this. If there's a Star Trek show that people like, there's controversy over, they want us to watch, let us know and we'll watch that episode. Because I was really surprised that some people said, this is my least favorite, this is such a stupid episode.
Until we get one of those requests, we're going to continue to watch Voyager and follow the exploits of Chakotay.
Oh God.
Because he's, the most boring, useless
He's
character.
He's called a Temerian, and actually now on the lower decks they actually have a Temerian character.
Is he boring?
He's hilarious.
Oh.
Because they have to understand him.
Was Chakotay hilarious? I don't remember him
No.
being hilarious.
He's like, whatever, Shiva, her robe's unfurled or something. He says all these things and they have to understand like what he's saying. But he's with people that speak English, so it's always so funny. Like in Lower Decks it's really funny, the Temerian. Yeah, he's hilarious. One time he gets shrunk into a little doll. Anyway, it's funny. It's hilarious. I recommend that show for sure.
Yeah, so I was
Not
using that
Voyager.
to plug our new segment, which we're gonna put in right now and come back to.
Okay.
And we're gonna finish
You can
up our
skip
show
it
here.
if you want. I wish I could have.
Hi there, welcome to our new segment that we're calling Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.
That's terrible.
In case you didn't check out last week, oh, by the way, I'm Gregory Barrett, one of your hosts, and this is my lovely wife, Christine.
Hi.
Thank you very much for watching our content here.
Don't forget about the kitty.
Yeah, and this is our guest star for all the shows, Fluffy Kitty.
Yeah.
So this is a new segment of the show where we're going to talk about Voyager, Star Trek Voyager.
And I keep on
Because
saying, do
this
we
is
have
Christine's favorite show, and she's never finished it. I've certainly never finished it. So what we're going to do each week, every week we're going to watch one episode.
Well, we watched 2 this week.
Except for when there's a two-parter. Like for the first episode, it's a two-parter episode. So first episode is called Caretaker. So we're going to break down all the things we love and maybe some things we don't love about Star Trek Voyager, a show that ran for 7 seasons.
Unfortunately for
From
me.
1995 to 2001. How did this get 7 seasons?
I don't know, but we will start in on it. Unfortunately, Gregory's making me do this because I
You
unfortunately
make it sound like I'm holding a gun to your head. This is something we're doing for content.
in our episode last week, we started talking about this show, and I mentioned that I never finished watching it because I just tried a few times and I couldn't get through it. So Gregory had this great idea that we're going to watch it.
Yep.
Anyway.
1 week at a time.
Oh, God.
But we don't have to watch very much. We don't have to watch one episode.
It's torture,
So
though.
let's start this off. Looking at Rotten Tomatoes, this has a 76% critic rating, which means about 3/4 of critics said something nice about it. Doesn't mean they said it was amazing. They could just say something nice. And 77% of the audience said something nice about it. So that's pretty decent scores. I always found this show kind of boring. So I don't know how it's getting these kind of scores.
I think when I watched this Caretaker episode 1 and 2, I think at the time when it came out, we had seen pretty good content about Star Trek. And I think we had some rose-colored glasses on when it came to this show, because we had some good shows. When
Voyager started in 95, TNG was still running, and Deep Space Nine was running.
And they were awesome shows.
And they were and this is the weakest of the 3. For sure.
And well, we can't even mention Enterprise came, I think, after that, and that was very weak.
But
it didn't get renewed.
Star Trek Deep Space Nine got 7 seasons. So did Voyager.
Yeah, well...
And how did that get to 7 seasons? Was it because everything else was over?
I think
because they ended TNG and Deep Space Nine.
I don't know, but I just...
And then all that was left was Voyager.
I just think we assumed it was going to be better. But as we got into watching this, a lot of people stopped watching it, like myself, like you. But I think when I first watched this is a 2-parter, Gregory didn't remember it was, but I remembered. I think we just assumed that it was going to be good.
We were hoping it was going to be good because Star Trek was on a roll at the time in the early 90s, I guess.
Positive opinion of these first 2 episodes. This is called The Caretaker, Part 1 and Part 2. I think when I watched it in the first place. But watching it this week, again, after knowing what happened with Voyager and how I did stop watching it, I think there's a lot of problems with this first couple episodes.
So we're going to break down the episode in just a minute. However, this episode, I remember when this premiered. Okay? I watched this when it premiered.
Me too.
Did you?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I did watch it, but
so,
I think
high hopes for it.
I had rose-colored glasses on, which is what I'm talking about. And I think I assumed that any omissions or errors or whatever they were going to get to that or whatever. But the problem is, the way the episode ended, things didn't change.
No, the characters were pretty boring. It wasn't written the greatest.
It wasn't. There's a lot of holes in this.
Let's see. Yeah, it starts off with some homework. They put the text on the screen, so that's homework.
Star Wars.
And it's like, okay, the Federation is making peace with the Cardassians, but there's some Federation civilians along the board. They don't like it because they're racist against the Kardashians. So that's xenophobia there. So they don't like that. So they start a rebellion against the Kardashians.
They already had the group,
and then they're
fighting
them, and so you got Tuvok as the rebel captain there. No, sorry, Chakotay. Our main man Chakotay is captain of this ship, and for some reason Tuvok is there, and I'm like, why would a Vulcan be a rebel?
We do find out why.
And there's some other people there. And
Belana Torres. There's only two.
Anyway,
really.
they're fighting the Cardassians, but that's not important. Then they go into this storm and they get swept away. Okay, cool. And then suddenly instead of cutting to Voyager, it's like, nope, we meet Janeway and she's going to meet Tom Paris for the first time, and he's in jail.
Conveniently on Earth.
Why is she going to recruit this prisoner who used to be a Maquis?
That's why. So what it is, Maquis, basically it's people whose planets were invaded by the Cardassians, and the Cardassians did bad things to them.
Yeah, we just discussed that. They're racist against the Cardassians.
Okay. They're not racist. They have a gripe.
They don't
agree to be at peace with them because they want vengeance. Anyway, although neither of the people that we see are Bajorans, they're just one is a half Klingon, Belana Torres. And Chakotay is like part native.
Yeah, the Bajorans were fighting the Cardassians in Deep Space Nine. So why are these other people?
I don't know.
Anyway, they got their reasons. They just hate them.
Yeah. So, but there's really only two of them. The other people in the episode are just filler people. These Maquis people.
Maquis.
Anyway, it's lame. And Tom Paris is this big rebel, right? He's this big, like, a-hole, and he's got a big attitude. That's interesting.
He's a loser.
Okay, well, this is how he's presented.
We're spoiling all these, by the way. This is full spoilers if you haven't watched the show from 95.
It's presented as this conflict.
That's on you.
Between him and Chakotay. However, even within that episode, we learned that he was only with the Maquis for, like, one mission. So I don't see
captured.
How Chakotay would be so hateful towards him. That is a plot hole right there. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because he's like, I hate you, Tom Paris, because you betrayed the Maquis. You betrayed the rebellion. How dare you?
He didn't really.
He didn't really. He got caught. Now he's in a Starfleet uniform.
Well,
even they put him in a uniform, but he's only an observer. Why would they give an observer a Starfleet uniform? That makes no sense.
Way too much leeway.
Especially if this guy's a prisoner.
They're giving him way too much. She lets him lead the ship at one point, and she's only known him for like a day.
Well, by the end, because they had lost so many crew members.
There's 100 and some on there.
So Janeway recruits this Maquis prisoner who's kind of a loser.
Okay, that makes sense.
They go to the storm to track the Maquis. They get sent to the Delta Quadrant.
Well, no one should go into that the whole premise storm. It's very sketchy looking.
Yeah, why are they going in there?
They shouldn't go in there.
Because they got this special Voyager ship. They said some nonsense about they got like biocells in the hull or something. And I'm like, what is this garbage?
It's like the metachlorines in Star Wars. Like, we never hear about that much after this.
Oh, you're never going to hear about the metachlorines in another movie.
This Betazoid is giving us a scientific, encyclopedic description of the Voyager ship. Anyway, and it's very cheesy, that scene where Tom Paris is like hitting on her, and that's like, it wakens us back to like the Kirk episodes back in the original
he was a ladies'
series,
man.
But we don't see that. We don't have that as much in the Next Generation or in
the new Star Trek movies,
or anything. And then they did get rid of any of that. So I thought that was really silly.
That was a dumb scene. He's hitting on this shuttle pilot, and then she keeps trying to distract him, and then finally she's like, "Hey, look at that ship," and he's like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, it was
And
really
he completely
dumb.
forgets about the woman.
Very
So she
unprofessional.
did a good job. And yeah,
No,
but he's just an observer.
I
He
think
doesn't have to
that
be
was-
professional.
No, but that was poor writing. Because
True.
we hadn't seen that kind of sexism in Star Trek. And all of a sudden they put that in the first episode, like within the first few minutes of the episode. So that was really stupid. And we don't see that kind of thing again from them. And I thought that was really disappointing because this was in the 90s by then and we were done with that kind of stuff in TV. Like we were talking about that on our previous episodes about like this kind of really big sexism towards women. Well, by the time the 90s came, this was out of TV.
In Star Trek, I would say yes. Some networks, like Fox, definitely had it, okay? Let me tell you, in 95, Married with Children was still running. And by the way, if you haven't watched Married with Children, great show. It's so funny.
That's a different
But there was definitely, because that show was all about sexism.
No, but
it's about sexism towards men and women.
I feel this was like the original series, Kirk hitting on any woman that walked past him. Anyway, so that was kind of strange in the episode, and I know that as far as I recall, in the next Voyager episodes and all this, we don't see that again, and so that was lame in the episode.
I think you just want to talk about Tom Paris. Let's talk about the main man here. Let's talk about Chakotay. So
Chakotay is not the main man.
He's captain of the.
He's so boring.
Yeah,
he's even boring in this when they're trying to make him edgy.
He's a rebel.
Still boring,
and he's still just so straight laced and unemotional. And then when they have to team up with the Star Trek crew of the Voyager, when they have to team up with the Federation crew soldiers, they're just going along. And when B'Elanna, who's also a Maquis rebel, she's like giving Janeway crap and everything and walking away, and Chakotay's like, "Hey, she's the captain. You better listen to her." Why would he tell his people to listen to her?
No rebel.
Makes no sense.
It makes no.
And by the end, it's like he's the XO, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a good guy."
Well,
we're cool.
This doesn't make sense.
He doesn't seem like a rebel at all.
He's never been a rebel type person as we know him, and in the next parts of the show, also he has this hatred to Tom Paris, and then all of a sudden it's all forgiven. Now he loves him.
You know what?
By the end of the episode,
maybe we'll find out his backstory more, but here's the thing. He's not a Maquis rebel. He is, but in name only, because here's what happened. The Maquis recruited him, and he was just like the best guy because they're running short on pilots, right? He's like, "Hey, you're really good at this. How about we pay you, and you'll fly our ship for us while we go around and, be guerrilla terrorists?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So his heart's not really in it, right? Chakotay.
No,
so
that's
maybe
not what it is
I'm just thinking he's like a hired hand.
I thought you were talking about Tom Paris. No, he's not. He said that they killed his people on his planet and murdered his people.
Did they?
Yes. You don't even know who Chakotay is. Yes. But the problem is the writing of Chakotay is all wrong. If he's supposed to be this rebel without a cause. Now, Torres is way more...
He seems more like a hired hand.
He's not, though.
He could be a hired mercenary. I think that's what it is.
Oh my gosh, he's not. Pay attention. You didn't even pay attention to the episode.
No, I'm writing a good backstory for this guy.
That's not his backstory, and we learn more about him.
That's it. I'm writing this backstory for him because we don't have a backstory for him.
We do. He says in the episode that the Cardassians invaded his planet.
I don't remember that. I think you're thinking of episodes later on, because he definitely didn't say that in that two-parter episode called Caretaker.
Because you phased out. Anyway, the thing is, he's mild, he's reserved. He goes along with everything Janeway says, and the most stupid thing about the episode in the end is Janeway, number one, makes Tom Paris fly her ship and gives him this appointment and makes Chakotay her second in command. This guy that they're hunting.
But he has all this experience.
He's a criminal.
Yeah.
And she thinks they might get back home right away. It's so stupid. So it's kumbaya. By the end of the episode, we're in kumbaya mode. And the problem is the show stays in kumbaya forever.
If you think about the backstory we just created here,
it
works.
It's not his backstory.
Works. So we talked about Chakotay. We talked about Tom Paris. What are your thoughts on Janeway? Because this show does feature the adventures of Janeway.
Her decisions are ridiculous.
Okay.
She would never let a criminal be commanding her ship and then give him a post and then give these two other criminals like the best positions on her ship.
Did you think she looked like a good captain?
She acts like a captain.
Yeah.
Would act. I think they put too much makeup on her.
They made her look really good in this
and
episode. They're like,
there's two
she's got to
really
look good for some reason.
stupid things. When they get hit by this wave, when this guy, basically the episode is, the caretaker is this guy on this array, and he's looking.
Oh, I'll talk about that in a bit. Let's just talk about Janeway right now.
I am talking about it. He's looking for people in the universe, and he sucks their ship in. And when he grabs their ship and takes it across the universe to where he is in the Delta Quadrant, their ship gets really wrecked. Half of the people die in the ship. Janeway's hair is all sticking out, and it's like
she's got all frazzled
coming
hair
down and all this kind of stuff. And then in like 5 minutes, her hair is like perfectly, and it's put in a braid, and it's like perfect.
You missed that because that's. Let me give you.
And the ship also looks perfect.
She went in the turbo lift, and she had her hair down on one side. So then, by the time she got to engineering, she had fixed her hair because I guess the turbo lift ride was really long.
Perfect.
I mean, what else was she gonna do?
Nothing was out of place.
I don't know.
The ship also looks perfect. After that, in the episode, there's like all the dead people are not really mourned, and
they shoot them out into space. You can't, or
they
could compost them, I guess.
Funeral or anything, and the ship looks perfect, and they kind of forget about them all and have a kumbaya moment.
Why do you keep saying kumbaya?
Because that's what it is. Like I said last time, it's a tea party. The whole series after this, there's no conflict in the characters. Everyone's just happy-go-lucky. And the people would be very upset
You're really
at the end of this episode.
You're supposed to talk about Janeway.
We are.
No, you're giving a synopsis.
She should be really upset because they've been stuck in now the Delta Quadrant. They'll never see their families again. But yet, we'll be good. We'll go home next week.
But they're Starfleet.
It's stupid.
Did you notice the part at the end where she's arguing with Tuvok and he's like, no, we can't do anything. It's the Prime Directive. And she's like, I only obey the rules when I want to. She's like, I got that bad edge. She's like, we're not worrying about the Prime Directive out here. She doesn't say it, but, you read between the lines, and that's what happens. So that's what I found about Janeway. So starting to see that she's got, she's tough. Wanted to ask you, did you find the story for this two-parter to be kind of gross? Because I did.
Gross?
Yeah. So this caretaker is abducting people from different parts of the galaxy or different parts of the universe.
Yeah.
And he's stealing them. And what happens is then, this is a really early 90s thing and late 80s, is that then he abducts them from their ship. So it's an alien abduction, and they all get probed.
And they should have some PTSD after this.
And then he just beams them back.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
They're abducted by these aliens. They're stripped naked and put into these machines. They're probed, and then they get sent.
They have weird clothes.
No,
on.
they're in these machines.
No, but they have weird.
That's the machine, and then they get
anyway,
sent back, and they're dressed, and they're like, "Wait, what happened?"
That's what I'm saying. Half the people on the ship die. The ship is half destroyed. It almost explodes.
They all get probed,
and they get probed by aliens. They kidnap 2 of the people. And yet, they're just like,
we're cool. We're cool. And they keep trying to help
We'll never see our family or our dogs ever again.
Well, they keep trying to go back to this caretaker. It's like, you got to send us back. But they don't really enforce it. He's just like, nah. And they're like, okay, let's go do something else. And they find these lab rat people who... It's these weird Star Trek elves. They look like elves, but their ears are really big and messed up.
With the ears or the
and they're essentially lab rats of this caretaker guy, and he's keeping them alive by saying them energy and food. So they don't do anything.
Silly.
They don't know how to survive. And there's these other people who all they value is water. But they got giant spaceships bigger than the Voyager. Why can't they just go to another planet that has sentient life? Because Star Trek has tons of them, and they can just get water somewhere else.
And all these people on the planet that are living on the same planet as them need to do, because they have giant ships with lasers and they shoot the ground to go down in there. Mm-hmm. So silly. The Voyager crew just shoots a phaser and escapes from this place. If they have ship capability, they can go anywhere else and get water.
Yeah, that made no sense.
Why did they give them ships? It would have made more sense if this was these
like a
people were
primitive
stuck there.
pre-spacefaring race, and they're just on this arid planet.
Stuck there, and maybe they had buddies that had ships, but they wouldn't give them to them. That part makes no sense at all. I mean,
that would make more sense.
It doesn't make any sense, that part. And the whole story with Cass, oh, well, she escaped. Well, we don't seem to...
You mean Tess?
Tess.
Is it Tess?
No, it's Cass.
I'm going to look it up.
Tess? Jeez, you're getting mixed up with...
Sorry, it's been a while since I only watched...
You're getting mixed up with...
Cass. Jennifer Leanne is Cass. Yeah, sorry.
Anyway...
It's been a long time since I've seen this show.
And we learn later in the show that she's only, like, very young, because they only live 9 years. Anyway, but somehow now Neelix is her boyfriend, and somehow she's got away from Neelix, and she's living with these people that have kidnapped her, and Neelix just randomly comes upon Voyager. It's really silly.
And tricks them into helping him rescue her.
And he's so irritating at the end.
Yeah,
like
and
he
smelly. Apparently he smells a lot because they never get to have a bath except for a sand bath. Sand scrub, I think he calls it.
Yeah, like the jokes with Neelix are the same throughout the whole series after that. Like him making some soup or something. He's like the Swedish chef or something.
You know what I noticed with Neelix and Cass at the end was that he wants to stay, so he's like, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can be a cook and everything. And she's standing right next to him like, I can't do any of these things.
But
I'm a useless lab rat.
All they needed to do is
just a useless character.
She could teach the people. They just left the people. There's no new character. They just abandoned those people. They only have 5 years left, and they just abandoned them.
That's
on
not their
that planet.
problem. They just get thrown across the galaxy.
Instead of like maybe telling Kes how to help the people, and Kes would stay with them and help them. No, they just all leave and abandon these people to die, and that was the whole point of their whole being sucked across the universe, was so that these people could be looked after or given tools to look after themselves. But they just abandoned them.
Yeah, so they didn't want to do that. That wasn't their job. They're pissed off that they're now on the other side. Would you?
The array. And they know that the problem exists, and it was the caretaker's last dying wish, and they just leave them and they take Kes with them? Very poor writing on this whole episode. Yeah. And I know when I watched it at first, I assumed, okay, well this will be fixed. Okay, but it never really
But let me ask you this. If you're on Voyager and you just got thrown across the galaxy, are you going to help this guy help out these lab rat people, or are you going to be like, screw them, I want to get back home?
No, well, they know they're not going to get home in time. It's going to be 75 years. The least they could do if there's a purpose to them being sucked.
Did they say 75 years?
Yes. If they're being sucked across the universe, was at least solve the problem of the... Now he's a rock. I'm going to see if we see that rock anywhere in the episode.
But they're in the future, in Star Trek universe, they can live another 75 years.
No, they can't.
Sure they can. No, they'll definitely live above 100.
Life. They don't have extended life. Janeway's already older in this episode. Anyway, 75 years is a long time. Anyway, it's silly. It's silly. The episode is silly.
I don't think you would help him. You would be like, blow up this thing and let's go. Or maybe don't blow it up and instead use that technology to get you home.
Or do something.
What they could have done was just keep those sand people, those primitive sand people, don't have them have ships. Okay? And then they just go bug the caretaker, and the caretaker's dying, and he's like, no, I'm going to blow this up, self-destruct, so then the climax is they have to stop it. And, well...
I don't know. There's a lot of problems with it.
He says it's self-destruct, but he only tells them at the end there's nothing they can do. So then they get out, they beam out, it blows up from self-destruct, because you got to have it so they can't get home, right?
I mean...
And it can't be their fault. Okay. They have to have done everything they could. So if they just did that, then they're stuck there. They'll be... Your point will still stand. They'll be like, there's these useless lab rat people and these sand people, but screw them, let's go home.
No,
and that's exactly what you would do.
Because also they've interfered with the society. They've already been there. They've already talked to the people.
Yeah, so she said screw the Prime Directive.
There's nothing stopping them from just helping them to get to the surface and learn a couple of things. Just
Didn't
learn how to look after themselves.
Or something?
No. Anyway... It's silly. There's a lot of problems with the episode. I guess they wanted them to have an enemy in the Kazon right away, but I think that was really foolish that the Kazon were stuck there, but yet they seemed... all of a sudden they have they have this giant ship. They can go anywhere and get water, get any kind of resources.
Yeah, they shouldn't have had that.
That was really silly.
Yeah.
And Neelix went rogue and started shooting them. They should not have given Neelix a phaser and given him a phaser after that. Like, made him like he was one of the crew right away. They accept anyone into this crew. Like, we could just stand there hitchhiking on the side
they're
of
pretty
the...
gullible, this crew.
Side of the moon there, and they just pick us up and invite us to their tea party.
But isn't that what Kirk and Picard also do as well? They just pick up people all the time on the Enterprise.
They don't let them live with them. They don't do that.
They're shuttling aliens all the time on their ships.
No. They don't take them in and give them phasers and call them members of their crew within like 2 hours of meeting them.
Yeah,
which
you're
is
right.
Essentially what
These guys
they do.
These are not good. This is not even the B team.
No, they're like holding hands and they're
like
kumbaya at the end of the episode.
So
people who are supposed to be big enemies.
You know, okay, so get this. If all these people on Voyager, all the Starfleet officers, if they're all like bottom of their class, okay? They graduated from the academy, but with D's, okay?
No, they have to be a California class. They're not a California class. This is like the prime ship. This is like the best ship they have. This is not.
No, that's the Enterprise. The lower decks. That's the Enterprise.
No, but this one, as they say, it's very fancy. It's got all the new gel technology and all that garbage. But you know.
Then why does she need a pilot who's in jail? I'm sure they got lots of pilots.
No, you don't understand. Why she asked him because they want to infiltrate the Marquis. She's trying to get Tuvok back.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But then just
I don't know if Tuvok was on her crew before. They acted
he was.
They were friends, but
you didn't pay attention.
I got the impression that he was like a Starfleet intelligence officer.
She's getting her security officer back.
Oh, okay, I missed that then.
You missed You don't understand what happened in this episode.
I do.
She needed Tom Paris.
It's just a lot didn't make sense, so I'm writing a better story.
To get her security officer back. That made sense. But afterwards, everybody loving each other and being so at peace and everything. And then that's what happens from then on. And Tom Paris's character goes from being a dirtbag to a hero within the day as well. And then he stays that way.
Here's what we can do here. This looks great. So, a lot of things in this episode didn't make sense. You agree?
Yeah, and Harry Kim is as irritating as always.
We didn't see him very much.
He's too much.
Him and B'Elanna were the ones that the alien said, I'm going to keep these two and keep probing them and experimenting on more. So
he didn't do that.
They were upset about that.
They got sick when they got there.
Okay, so this episode didn't work very well. So how would we fix this episode? Ooh, hey, kitty.
Well, I think that she would put them in the break, for one, and Tom Paris would be restricted access to things.
In terms of the caretaker, so what was the names of that alien race, the Sand People? Kazon?
The Kazon.
So
they're big
you
enemies.
have the Kazon, they don't got ships, they're just Sand People, they're pretty
wouldn't
primitive.
Be the Kazon.
But they're going to get at these...
They would be another group.
They're going to get at these Star Trek weird elves and they're the lab rat people, because they live in essentially a...
All they had to do was
a containment field.
Tell them how to get to the surface.
They don't have ships. The caretaker sets the self-destruct on his array when he dies, and he doesn't tell them until right before he dies. And then they can't stop it, so they gotta get out. It blows up. But then what do you do with the lab rat people? Say that
not lab rat people. He likes them. He loves them. He's looking after them.
What you have is that the Kazon bust in there and slaughter all of them except for Cass. So then Cass is like, well, now I don't have a home. I don't have a home. Neelix's ship got blown up with the array, and now he's like, what am I going to do? So
should have been there trying to rescue her. That would have made more sense.
So what happens is then you have the two of them, they're stuck there, and they have to be on Voyager. Otherwise, Voyager's going to have to maroon them somewhere because they don't have any ships or anything. And I already fixed it with Chakotay. So now Chakotay, he wasn't really hardcore into the Maquis. He was just a hired mercenary. He's a really professional, calm mercenary in the Federation world. So they hired him, and he's like, sure, you're paying my fee?
Tom Paris was the mercenary.
No. So Chakotay, that fixes it, and then because now he's just a hired hand, but he's also very experienced and very cool under pressure because he's always so cool, right?
He's not Starfleet.
That guy never raises his temperature.
Alana is Starfleet.
But if he's a very highly experienced mercenary, then it solves the problem of why Janeway made him the XO.
No, it doesn't.
Because they got all these other mercenary people that he has to control, and if he's in a position of power and he's really good at his job, because he was never really into the rebellion, let's say.
She could have put him on the security team.
So that makes sense.
It doesn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense.
Tuvok, nothing with Tuvok makes sense. He's a boring character. What do we got? B'Elanna is pissed off, but Chakotay, our main guy, he's going to keep them in line. Janeway has proven that she didn't put together a very good crew for this ship, because the Doctor was a dick, and then he died. So then we got the introduction of Rob Picardo as the holographic Doctor. He's
the only
great.
good thing about the show at this time is the Doctor. We don't get 7 and 9 till later on in the show.
Several seasons later.
I mean,
how would we fix the problem with Tom Paris? Why would she go to hire Tom Paris?
There's a reason why she went to him. The problem is how the crew starts hugging him and like accepting him as one of their own.
How would we fix that? Why would they do that?
On a probation, and
maybe he was like the bad boy, popular guy at the academy.
Anyway,
before he got kicked out, and so everyone, he's like a legend. He's like the Van Wilder. And so he's a legend, helpful. So everyone's like, this guy, he's so cool. And now he's on our ship? Awesome. I think we just fixed this episode.
I don't think so. I think there was problems. I don't mind her as Janeway. I don't really... The cast was given a terrible script. And it continued.
Oh, no doubt.
And that's the problem.
But that's why we just fixed it here.
I don't have a problem with the cat. I don't think that would fix it. Anyway, it's problematic from the get-go. And this is why the show was so damn boring, and there was no good conflict in it. Yeah, they had to fight some people, they had to get out of the Delta Quadrant, but it didn't make sense from the get-go. So we'll see how... Some of the
stuff makes sense.
If I have to watch any more episodes, I will.
Some of the stuff makes sense because they were pissed off at the caretaker for taking them away from their home and abducting them and probing them.
They're not mad at them, though.
And then not sending them back.
And
then he blew up his thing, so they're like, yeah, screw this. We're not... And then the Kazon or whatever, they kill all the elf lab people there.
They're not lab people, okay?
Okay, we fixed this movie.
It's
and
not
Neelix's
a movie,
ship
it's a
is
show.
also blown up, so Neelix and Cass have to stay with them. Chakotay is the hardcore mercenary who's now XO.
The thing that I liked about this episode was the ode to the original series where we have this big blob creature who can look like a man, and then he's like this blob thing, and then he turns into a rock. Mm-hmm. So that's like the ode to the original series. I did appreciate that. I like that. I wonder, I'm going to look on the next episode, see if they actually have, like I was saying, have that rock somewhere. On their counter or something, like in the cafeteria, because it's like basically his dead body. Anyway, I did like that about it. I like the concept of 2 enemy crews working together, but I think that they failed already because all of a sudden they're holding hands.
They're not very. There's not much conflict between the 2 crews.
Conflict, no.
I mean, B'Elanna tries a little bit, but she seems to be the only one.
And she's like mad about her Klingon heritage, which I don't think is a good thing. I think that's starting off with a bad concept. Anyway, basically, do we have to watch more of this show?
Oh yeah, we gotta watch the whole show.
Oh my
whole series.
Gosh.
Who's so far? So in this episode, in this 2-parter episode, who was the best?
Who was the best?
Yep.
Character.
Yeah, what was the best character in this show?
Oh my gosh, they're all
Pick
one.
one.
The Doctor. He's the only one that's good. The
Okay.
Doctor. Cheers to Robert.
You want to know what I think? Who the best character is in this episode?
Who do you think?
Chakotay.
Oh my god. I love it how they have a native
He's so
character
cool under
on
pressure.
The show.
He never gets angry.
But this is the problem. He's supposed to be an angry guy.
No, he's cool under pressure.
He
knows how to deal with stress and combat. He's always just stoic.
Listen, I love
he's like
how
Batman, but less angry.
They've made a Native American character. I think that's fantastic. However, the use of Chakotay, it was completely ruined. They basically, all these stories don't make any sense. unfortunately.
No,
Anyway.
that's okay. But we're going to see just how bad it goes. And we're going to keep doing this every week here on our segment of
to hear this.
Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.
That's his title.
Hopefully you'll come back to see us next week. Thank you very much if you actually watched that. And if you enjoyed it, give us the thumbs up. You can subscribe. We post more content here every week. And
if you don't want us to watch more
Fluffy
Voyager,
kitty's down there playing with the thing.
Please let us know if you don't want us to watch more Voyager.
Leave a comment down below and let us know how much you love Voyager. Okay? Have a good day. Take care. And now that we're back, we're going to jump back into Coruscant and the Star Wars universe.
Star Wars, Star Trek.
Okay. Yeah, we're more of a Star Wars crowd over here. Okay? I'm more Star Wars and you're more Star Trek because you don't like Star Wars that much.
I do like Star Wars.
Coming from the person who does nothing but complain about Star Wars.
I like to complain about Star Wars.
Yeah, there's a saying in fandom, no one hates Star Wars like Star Wars fans because all they do is complain about it. Except for me because I'm going to review more stuff. So I continued reading my Star Wars The High Republic series. So I finished The Fallen Star actually a week ago now. And this continues the series I was reading. At first I read Light of the Jedi, then I read The Rising Storm, and now it's The Fallen Star. And let me tell you something, because it's kind of a long continuous story following the same characters. These Jedi are dumb. They're really dumb. And this High Republic, they're really dumb too. I don't know how they got to be the High Republic, because this whole series is about the Jedi,
I didn't think you were going to say and
the Republic,
really dumb.
And they're fighting these space pirates.
Well,
okay?
You do.
Okay,
like
so
you do.
They're called the Nihil, but they're essentially just space pirates.
Okay.
But the Republic doesn't have an army. They don't have a security force. So they just keep doing their thing. And meanwhile, these pirates keep causing all these problems. I'm like, this is dumb.
Do, especially when there is no security.
So the first book, The Light of the Jedi, is about this big, huge event. Oh, I'm spoiling these books, by the way. So if you're gonna read them, I mean, they ain't the greatest.
I don't think. Yeah, you don't seem that thrilled with
them. First book, the first half of Light of the Jedi is about the great hyperspace disaster. Okay, and there's this big disaster where a ship is destroyed in hyperspace, and it comes out into the system, and it's going to destroy everyone in the system.
Right.
And this is a big agricultural system as part of the Republic.
You need to get your ship inspected regularly.
No.
To make sure it doesn't fall apart in hyperspace.
It wasn't a maintenance issue.
Could be very dangerous.
It was caused accidentally by these space pirates.
Oh, okay. Are they stealing all the copper out of the ship and it's like a boat and they make it sink?
Yes. They're pirates, so they steal anything they can. But the first half is this big disaster is happening, and immediately the Jedi show up because conveniently they were just, a few systems away.
Right.
Okay, so they show up,
there's
and
lots of them at this time.
And through the their space magic, the Force, they prevent this big, huge space disaster and save billions of lives. Otherwise, it would have destroyed the whole planet.
Just one ship.
So that's this big thing. And then the second half of that book, and if you remember me reviewing this before, I said the second half was way better, is because then the Chancellor, Lena So, who's not a good Chancellor, by the way, she sends the Jedi to investigate what happened, and they're like, oh, we found out it was the space pirates. And part of that is their own fault, because they screwed up and they kept, doing raids, and they got caught. So then they go after them and take out these space pirates, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they're all dead, right? It's all good,
Of course
but it turns out it wasn't. That was just one section of this pirates. They have what's called tempests, and there's three storms. Okay, and the three storms are like three different fleets.
Right. Yeah.
And then there's the leader above that. They call him the Eye of the Nihil.
Know anything about
them.
Okay,
so they destroyed this one fleet.
Right,
I
had no idea.
That the leader, his name's March and Rowe, weird Star Wars names, remember?
Well, these things happen,
And
I suppose.
he sacrificed that
Right.
that fleet because the commander screwed up
Well,
and got them caught.
if you have an organized military, you're going to have intelligence, and they're going to be able to tell you what you're up against. But if it's only just some random Jedi's, like,
All they have
going
is
off
the
and
Jedi to
fighting
protect
people,
them.
they don't have intelligence.
For the whole
I
High
suppose.
Republic,
That's normally how it works.
and they
Sounds
have
silly.
very limited forces. And so that's the first book, and then the second book, they think, oh, we took care of them, right? It's
Right,
all
right.
good. So we're gonna go ahead with our the Chancellor, same one, Lena So. She has
Yeah.
these great works that she's doing throughout the Republic.
Great works.
So they're gonna put on this giant. It's kind of like a big
Parade.
exhibition fair.
Right.
So you know how at the end of the summer there's an exhibition everywhere,
Yeah.
and like rides and everything, farmers,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So they said they're gonna. It's like the equivalent of a World's Fair, but it's for the
Okay.
whole Republic.
Jeez.
So it's like on a whole planet,
Need a
and
big convention center for that.
and they're
one.
like, we're gonna have this big celebration. We're gonna celebrate the joy of the Republic and our
Right.
next great work that we're currently building, which is this giant space station, not a Death Star. And what happens? The space pirates show up and destroy everything and kill a lot of people.
Great.
And I'm like, once again, like they're so dumb.
Yeah.
Why didn't they have more security?
They
Why
need
didn't they?
intelligence
Why didn't they
officers.
chase after these space pirates
Okay.
and destroy them? So that's the second book. So most of it is the Jedi just trying to save as many people as they can from
With
all this
not a grand
destruction.
Structure.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
guys,
So it's all just about pirates. the whole
raise an
thing.
arm. And now the Fallen Star.
It's more about
is-
pirates.
Yeah, this whole series is about this. It's the same group of
God.
Jedi,
It's a
and
lot of little minutia.
senators,
they're getting into.
and remembering these
Since
Star
when is
Wars
that important?
names.
Like pirates, I don't think that's too important to the universe.
Yeah, it's because the Republic is being so dumb.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing
Definitely
on
am not gonna
security,
read those.
they keep trying to do these big giant things.
Okay.
And instead, what happens is the space pirates just keep attacking them.
Well, that's not big. That doesn't make for an interesting story. I mean, it sucks if you're involved in it and you get raided
So,
by pirates.
Now,
but,
in the Fallen Star is about the next great work of the Republic. It's called the Starlight Beacon. It's
Right.
this giant space station
so
that
they
they built.
basically need the Coast Guard.
They need a
Space-
military.
Yeah, they need like the Coast Guard. We don't have to worry about
Okay.
pirates over here because we got the
So
Coast
they
Guard.
build this big space station. What happens? They sabotage it and destroy it from within.
Of course.
Because they
Of
don't.
course, it just has one little weak spot that if you shoot that little spot, it'll
No,
blow
this
up.
one doesn't have that.
Oh, okay.
There was no Galen Urso to do
No,
that here
oh.
from Rogue One.
What do they do? Just take it apart for the copper and leave, like mine it?
No, they can't attack it.
Oh, I thought they needed its supplies.
Okay, what will
Do
happen
I
is,
really care?
do you want to know what
I
happens?
don't really care. I don't really care.
It's fun. It's interesting.
What?
It's
How
not...
do they destroy it?
So the leader of the space pirates, the Nihil,
Right, because they need to get something out of it.
he sends he gets out of it is destroying the Republic. Okay, so what happens is he sends like 3 of his cult
Right.
pirates, and he sends them to the Starlight Beacon, the space station, to destroy it. Okay, so they go on there and they sabotage it.
He's not being a very good pirate then.
I
His
think
whole
I think
idea is
he's
to
got
get
bigger
something
plans.
Out of it.
He's got bigger
Not,
plans.
he's more than a pirate then. He's like a schemer.
But he's also doing this so that the Republic can't attack him beyond the Outer Rim, where he
Okay.
wants to be in control.
Right.
Okay?
Well.
So he wants to send a message to the Republic like, hey, this
Oh.
is my territory,
he's more-
get out.
It's not just a pirate thing then. He is like an evil
This guy's kind of crazy.
dude. Okay.
Okay, he's not a Sith, but
no,
he's crazy.
No, he's a bad guy.
So he sends these fanatics to the space station, and he also sends some, let's say some other stuff to the cargo hold and that. And what happens is, while they're sabotaging the ship,
Right.
these other things that I'm not going to tell you about that he sends there, they're there to disrupt the Jedi.
Okay.
It disrupts their ability to access the Force, and it makes them really weak.
It's like Krypton and.
Yeah, it's like kryptonite. It's
Superman.
Jedi kryptonite, let's say.
Okay, that seems kind of.
So
silly.
while he sends these people there, they're just going around like maintenance workers, and they're just sabotaging it for weeks. Okay?
Throwing a crystal here, a crystal there.
And okay, but they're
Sounds really
sabotaging
lame.
it in a way that it shows that like their systems show everything is good. So if everything's good, no one's gonna check in on it, right?
Right.
But and they sabotage it, and then once they're done with all that,
So they're
then
not-
they want to blow up the core,
Oh yes.
which they do.
That always makes a thing.
Okay, but once they blow up the core, the space station is now going to crash into the planet because it's caught in the gravity field. Yeah,
that's not good.
so that's how they're going to destroy it because they don't have the firepower to destroy the space station.
No.
It's that big, and so a lot of it is just the Jedi once again saving everyone from the space station that's going to plummet into this planet.
Oh my gosh.
And once again, the pirates are getting away with doing whatever they want, and they keep making the Republic and the Jedi look like idiots because they are.
Oh well, it doesn't sound very interesting.
It's
Anyway,
not the greatest,
why are we even
but
talking about it.
it is fun, I guess.
Oh, that seems like a lot of wasted time. Anyway,
I'm enjoying
next
it.
episode, I finished the Similarian. Whatever it is.
What is
It's
it?
the Cimmerils. It's the Cimmerils.
Silmarillion.
Is
Yeah. Because it's about the Silmarils.
The Cimmerils are rocks.
Yeah, we can talk about that in the next episode.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Anyway, well, I didn't enjoy it too much, but because I'm finally finished it, I was able to finish another book that was a lot more fun and a lot better. So I'll talk about that
on
our next
as
episode.
well.
So I think that's everything for this episode.
I got a couple comments.
Oh, you got some comments.
You're gonna love this. So we got a comment from the Switch commented on our review of Cocaine Bear. Well, actually, when I was talking about
haven't seen
before, and I asked if anyone else liked it, and he said it was good, and then he gave me like 50 emojis.
Oh.
So that was great, and so thank you very much, the Switch, for your comment. Then I got a great comment from Freddie Jones. You're gonna love this. He commented on our Voyager discussion that we had last weekend, and he said, "I thought Voyager was fine. The problem was it aired when TNG and DS9 were airing, and it was clearly the worst of the three." I absolutely agree there, Freddie. However, there are plenty of great Voyager episodes, and I think it's all right.
There can be some good ones, but it started on a bad note.
He said some great episodes, and I think you got Janeway wrong. She's a freaking badass. I definitely agree. She's a badass.
But the writing is not very good for the story. It's not her fault.
You think? Okay, you think I got Janeway wrong? Well, we're in the process of rewatching this. We hope you enjoyed our new segment of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway. We're going to continue this, and I'm going to learn more about Janeway. And maybe you're right, buddy. I'm not saying you're not.
You don't really remember a lot from it, so this is like you're watching it.
I remember falling asleep a lot watching it. When it was airing back in the day.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the actors.
So
but it's
someone wants us to talk about more Voyager. So thank you very much, Freddie Jones. We appreciate. Then I got a comment from Annie on YouTube in response to my season 2 of the Big Bang Theory review.
Okay.
And I asked, are there any other hardcore fans of the Big Bang Theory out there? And Annie replied, yes, of course, count me in. So thank you very much, Annie. I appreciate your comment. And I'm going to continue to review it, but not a lot because it's older, just once I finish each season. So keep it. So stay tuned to this channel for future episodes when I talk about more of the Big Bang Theory, which is one of my personal favorites.
Okay.
Then let's see, we got someone liked our comments on The Dark Knight as well as the Big Bang Theory. So looking good. I don't think I didn't get any emails for anyone suggesting topics, and I didn't get any comments on Twitter. But thank you very much to Annie, Freddie Jones, and the Switch for your comments. Christine, how can people get in touch with us other than leaving us comments down below?
How you can get a hold of us. You can email us at CanadaMovieTVHosers@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter at CanadaHosers. You can find Gregory on Twitter at St. John's Critic. And if you want to get our attention on Twitter, use the hashtag CanadaHosers. And we definitely invite you to like and subscribe. And if you feel like it, skip the Voyager part. That would be great. I'm putting in the hours on it.
Please, we want to continue watching Voyager, so we need people to watch it. So tell your friends, trick your family into watching it, and have people.
How can they watch it right now? How did we watch it? I'm trying to remember what service is it on.
It's on Netflix, isn't it?
I don't know. We somehow found
I think
it.
it's all on Netflix.
Yeah. I thought it was supposed to be on Paramount channel.
Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus.
But it's on.
But we don't have that.
Right.
But it's on Netflix
Okay,
here in Canada.
on Netflix.
So
There you go. There's all kinds of Star
Okay.
Trek there.
So yes, let us know if you want what you think of
Yes.
our Voyager segment, because we want to hear from you. And
Right. But I tell you what, the Lower Decks is not on Netflix, but it is on Crave in Canada. It's on Crave.
okay,
Yeah,
that must be
it's
new.
not
I might
there.
check it out.
It's not
then.
on Netflix because
How
I had
many
to find
seasons
it.
of Lower Decks is there?
3.
3 already?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
and that's got Jack Quaid in it.
It does. It's
From
really,
The Boys.
It's really fun.
Yeah, I've heard you laughing at it.
Yeah. I
But
like
it's
it.
been a while now, so we're going to sign
Okay.
off. Take care, everyone.